What's up, guys? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Standup Sit Down. I'm your host, Nick Perdue, and today in the studio, I have Tai. Stay tuned.
You are now tuned into Black Hollywood Live. Stand up, sit down.
There it is.
There
There it is. There it is. There it is. Hey!
My girl's like going crazy right now. This is our song. You lose yourself.
That's the whole video.
She's a little white girl like, I got broads in Atlanta. I'm like, yeah, bet you do. Get it.
And the video is him just going crazy in the streets, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what is going on?
He
like,
threw up on stage a couple of weeks ago performing. He was so excited. He has a lot of energy. He's 19 years old.
He is brother.
He's 19 years old.
That's what happens when you're broad in Atlanta. You do some crazy things.
I can't handle a broad in Atlanta. I know.
What's up, Ty?
What's up, Nick? Good
How you
to
been,
see
man?
you. It's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been 4 years. I've known you for 4 years.
It has been 4 years.
I remember you were doing the podcast in the old building that you used to manage, and who would have thought that 4 years later we'd be sitting here?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. Watch out, Arsenio.
Things happen.
Things happen.
And you know what else happens? You are here now.
I'm here, and I'm actually I'm in shock.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing, because like you've been doing a lot, and because like I've known you for 4 years, but you know you've been doing more than I thought that you were doing.
I'm doing more than I thought I was doing.
Oh yeah, you know, and I got this, and I got that, and we'll definitely talk about this. But you're like, oh, I got this, I got that, and then I turn on the TV, and I'm like, oh my God, Ty's face is just on television now. I'm like, what is going on? And then I'm online, and I'm like, what the? It's great.
It's a trip. It's kind of funny when I came here. I had transferred with my job from AT&T at the time, and I had come here with the idea that I wanted to be on TV. That's it. I've been doing comedy since I was 14. First time I ever performed, I was 16 years old at New York Comedy Club, one of the youngest comics to ever perform, and I didn't even know what I was talking about. I would wear like lingerie under my clothing and be like, "Ha! I'm in touch with my woman's side," and people were like, "Wow."
Oh yeah, hold on. So let's back up.
Let's back it up.
Let's back up because you're from Boston.
I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, raised in New York, Long Island, then Brooklyn. So I'm an East Coaster.
So what got you into comedy? And how did you get into comedy so young?
I had a mother that was very busy. I was an only child, and sometime in my life, my mom and all of her sisters weren't doing well, and they ended up living in a house with like 9 people, and it was like, we were just watching TV, like kids watching like Transformers, G.I. Joe, and one late night, Eddie Murphy Raw was on.
Wow, so that was the catalyst, huh?
But it's funny because I always knew there was something that I wanted to do, like as an entertainer when I was a kid, but I didn't know what it was. I couldn't like put it into words. And then I saw Raw, and then Def Comedy Jam was out, and I was like, wow, like Martin Lawrence, and I was like, I want to do that. Like that was my goal, to like have Russell Simmons, Rush Productions, like hire me and have me on, and obviously that never happened. But it was, and then In Living Color, and that's kind of when I was like, okay, like I want to do this, but I didn't know that I was funny. It kind of just, as I grew up and kind of got into myself and realized, that I'm not on any type of medicine for ADHD, obviously, and I make people smile, and I changed the perspective of someone's day. Maybe I am good at this, and then I started believing it, and then, I took a train to the city and I performed.
Were you funny in school? Like, were you like the class clown, or like what was school life like? And like, did that help lead you to getting on stage?
School was horrible. I did not fit into any clique, any type of groups. I wasn't a jock. I'm athletic, but I wasn't in that group. I wasn't smart enough to be a nerd, and I was too busy like trying to figure out why my teachers didn't like me. And my mom worked a lot. Like school wasn't really a factor. Like I was kind of just like the black sheep in school. Like and I was thinking when I finally got out of school, then I would like make a name for myself, or I would have something, because like, when you're in school, you just can't like walk away.
Right.
You know, like, so school wasn't that great, but once I got out of school, everything changed. Everything changed.
So take us to that first day where you get on stage, that first time. What was it like? What was going through your head? Did you have like second thoughts and like, maybe I shouldn't do this?
Never. I shouldn't do it. More like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna have fun. So I have these women's panties on underneath.
Whose panties were they?
I don't know, man. I was watching In Living Color. Jamie Foxx was, he was Wanda. And I'm 15, 16 years old. Like, I know I'm crazy, but I just, but I'm like, maybe, I grew up with my mom. She's from the South, and all I knew was like, my life with her and in TV. So when I finally actually I went to an open mic for New York Comedy Club, and I looked it up, and I went there, and they liked me because I was young and they knew that I had something, but they didn't know what, but they took a chance on me. They actually booked me.
Wow.
And the first time I went on stage, I wanted to pee all over myself. It was the worst experience. I was really scared, and I still feel the same way every time I go on stage now, but it's different. But I was super scared, and I sped through my jokes. I was like, I'm wearing a bra.
That was just your punchline for everything.
I was like, okay. And people would love it because they're like, look at this little boy. And this, where did he get these clothes? And where is his mother? It's so cute.
Oh my goodness.
Let me tell you, when the first time I knew that I was actually supposed to be in show business was when I was in elementary school, and it was a second grade play, and I don't remember what the basis of the whole play was, but I played a fox, and we had the paper bag mask because it was a really poor school, and I was the fox, and this mouse was like, I don't know, it was just a mouse. Anyway, I had this cheese, and I was supposed to like give the mouse a little bit of cheese, but not really share with him because I'm the sly fox. Long story short, this is a nighttime thing, auditorium, school play. I dropped the cheese on the floor of the stage. And the crowd everyone goes silent. You know how dirty a stage is, and it's the rocks and sand.
Right.
And I just look around, I bend down, and I eat the cheese. And everyone didn't even like brush it off. Everyone's like, ugh! Like every parent, like, and I knew.
That was it.
That was it.
So have you had any other dropping the cheese moments on stage to where you're like, I'm just gonna go for it now?
No, there's never been another drop the cheese. There's been a drop the mic in a negative way, but in a positive way on stage. I don't know if you remember this last year, the walkout at the Zen Lounge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. That's probably the best time of my life, and we'll get deeper into that. But that was that was pretty epic.
Yeah, that was a great show.
That was a great show. one of the last times we performed together, and I'll tell you that promoter was in shock. Well, if you guys don't know about the Zen Lounge, it's around here. I don't know. As a comic, I'm not a fan of places where they tell you have to be a certain way and they're not paying you to do anything, and then they turn off the mic when comics are performing if they're swearing, and it's not my fault that your club is behind a residential area. And I just as a comic and as an artist and as someone who knows that this is a hard business, and if you're not paying us, we're coming from all over, you're not going to treat us a certain way. So that was my drop the cheese. And everyone else picked it up, and we all ate that dirty cheese together and walked out of that damn place, and it was wonderful. It's the best performance I've ever had.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, it was such a fun night, and Justin Hires came in,
dropped in,
and he started just cussing. And
he turned it. I was like, the dude's about to be on TV with a Rush Hour series. What do you leave him alone?
Yeah,
homeboy was playing DJ and promoter. You can't do it.
It was crazy.
You're awesome.
But have you been heckled? Like have people yelled? How do you handle?
Well, I've only been heckled once because I'll never let it happen again.
There
were two times. Like? I'm sorry, two. Well, the first time I was doing Gotham Comedy Club, and I don't even know why these people put me on stage. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was just like, I stopped wearing the lingerie, and I was just like, maybe I had a great open mic, so they said, let's take a chance, and he's so young, they were hoping I was like the next thing, but I wasn't. And so,
how old were you?
16, 17.
Oh, so this was still, you were still young.
Yeah. And some woman was like, I forgot what she was saying. When you're getting heckled, you just know that someone's not really like saying positive things to you. And I'm trying to get through my stuff, and I'm like nervous, and my leg always shakes, and I'm doing, and she's saying, and I snapped.
Oh,
I was like, you fat this, your boyfriend, shove the mic up your boot, and it was this, and I walked up the stage. I would never do that now, but when I was playing at Flappers in Burbank, this one guy was heckling a bunch of comics before my set, and I just kind of went up on stage and I was like, I know, let's not do this. And I shut it down. I was like, I don't want to be the guy. Like, I'll jump off the stage and choke you with the wire. Like, I'm not okay yet. I'm still working. You know, comics
are crazy.
We're going through it every day. That's why we're so funny. Yeah. And you know, my biggest thing is right now it's like I'm taking a sabbatical from traditional clubs. I feel like it's not what it used to be. I'm 37 years old. Like, I've seen a lot of comedy, and I remember when comedy clubs used to actually be about the comedian doing something that was really, really special and having these different personalities, and all you could buy was a drink.
Right.
And, you know, you were smoking in the bar and you're drinking, and other comics would come to support those comics because, like, this club was about actually the art of comedy and making people laugh.
Right.
Now, you go to a club and you can have a 3-course meal while somebody's telling jokes. Yeah. When's the last time you've been to a Broadway show or a ballet, and then the person's doing pliés and you're eating a steak with potatoes on the side?
Right.
When does I feel like we've lost the thing, and there's so many hot comics and comics that are actually doing the club route, and I don't take it away from you if you're doing the club route. Like, some people, like, for me, it's not my thing right now because I'd rather do independent, like, places. Like, there are people throwing up, you know, spots in their garage, and they're killing it because they're about comedians. But these clubs, like, you want me to help you get richer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. You are you're the profit margin.
Yeah, and there's no commission.
Like when you're a regular at some of these places, you know, and they have you on the roster and you come in. I mean, like, there is a commission, but it's very minimal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive a Honda Fit. Thank you, Jesus. Like, it's but for me, it's as an entertainer, not just a comedian. I don't have that type of time to just give you all of me without you really loving what I do or loving what we do. I feel like people don't really appreciate us the way they should.
Right.
Like, we're great people, and guess what? Telling jokes isn't easy.
No.
You know, like, we work on it. We write. I still write every day, but you know what? I'm saving it. I'm saving it for the right time and the right place. But, you know, I think it's gotten so saturated, and when you can go and hire a DJ for your wedding and you check off the box, do you want a comedian? Like, where are you getting them from? I don't know anybody that works. You just, you know.
Right.
So it's my first love. And it's also the bane of my existence.
Well, yeah, I mean that's you know, because I know some comics, you know, start to get a little fickle, and I mean, comedy is fickle, and audiences, you know. So I mean, and we're in a new generation now where it's a lot of digital media, and comedy is being consumed in such a different way that, like, traditional comedy is sometimes taking a back seat, like, or it's, you know, like, it's just you have to navigate these waters differently now than, you know, 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Well, that brings up a great point, because what I say, like, some people, other comics will say, hey man, like, you know, how are you doing this or whatever, and, you know, this business, doesn't matter what angle you come from, it's not easy. You either have to grind. Like, for those guys that are killing it on stage, you're grinding, you're doing it, I love you, like, that's what it is.
Right.
And it has to start somewhere. But what was the question again? I'm like, I get so deep into it.
It was about hecklers.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just like, it's such a deep topic with me, and I don't really get to talk about it in a serious way.
It's okay.
But yeah.
It's okay.
Anyway, hey.
We will wrap back around to it.
I love that.
While we are on the topic of being on stage, we know that every show isn't a killer show.
No.
So every comic goes through their growing pains and has to take their L's on the stage. What was your first bomb on stage like?
Gosh. I feel like I had so many in the beginning. It's like your first one. I'm like, what do you mean, like my first 20?
Right.
All I can tell you is that the general feeling is that I didn't know if I should be doing this, and I think for anyone, like you can either quit or keep on going.
Right.
I definitely wanted to quit, or I would question, am I really a comedian, or do I just make drunk people laugh, or like
Right.
And I know, like, later on, as I knew that, just like if someone's a painter or someone draws really well and no one teaches them, like, it's not something that you're taught, it's something you are. Just like you knew, I'm funny. There's a way for me to channel this. And there's different levels to that because, like, being a comic also means being in pain. And then if you're already depressed, but you're trying to make people laugh on your depression, and then you bomb,
Right.
It's like, the first time I bombed really bad, I thought I was just like, I'm like, well, maybe I could be on a cartoon or something like that. Like, maybe that like Bebe's kid's like 6 and I'll be like the 7th baby. I don't know. But that was it for me. And I still deal with those feelings every time I bomb.
Well, I mean, but it happens to everybody. Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
And so I think the biggest thing is just moving on, and like it's still going. Or you could just quit.
You just quit.
You could quit and become some tax accountant somewhere, and live your life.
Dude, I quit. I quit before, and I worked at AT&T. I was like, you know what? Who needs comedy? I'm selling phones. And like, listen, I'm not saying anything bad about that job or what it is, but for me, like, it's my calling. And I couldn't run away from that no matter what I wanted to do. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to chase this. This is ridiculous. Like, I should be famous. Look at me.
You're one of those people.
But the reality of it was just like, I got to get tough. And, and I can't expect, nothing is given. Nope. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So you moved out to LA in 2013, right? So what caused that move?
I was working at AT&T, and one of the trainers came in, and he was absolutely fabulous. And he was like, "Oh, you're funny." And I was like, "Thank you." And then, like, we just started vibing, and he was like, "You should be in LA." And it was something that I wanted to do. And, I was in a really, really, really crappy relationship. And I was like, maybe this is my chance. I didn't know what I was going to do when I got here, but I knew I wanted to be here. And I ended up getting a transfer, and I had like a month to like get out here. And I drove cross country with my puggle, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it. And then I spent like 2 years like not knowing what I was doing, but I met a lot of cool people. I was in the celebrity Beverly Plaza, AT&T. Keanu Reeves was like one of my last customers. I almost peed on myself. Yeah, homeboy was like real like.
Was he nice though?
He was pissed. Someone sold him the new BlackBerry, and it's not that old. It was like 2 years old, and it was just hard to use. And he had an assistant that quit because he's probably not an easy person to deal with when he's mad.
But he seems like such a nice person. I've heard stories that he's like a very nice person.
Yeah, like, I guess for the people he wants to be nice to, not when he has a BlackBerry. When he's mad. Like... I said, "Oh, so how are you doing, Mr. Reeves?" I was like, "This is very nice to meet you." And he's like, he didn't say that. He was just like, "Oh, I'm good. Like in the career, I'm really pretty good. Thanks." So I was like, "So are you working on anything?"
Oh, see, you're that guy. You were that guy.
I was new. I didn't know any better. And he looks at my name tag and he's like, "Ty, could we just do my phone?"
Because he's coming into AT&T because he has a phone issue, and you're over here trying to access Hollywood him.
Let's not. Listen, you are a celebrity. I watched The Matrix 100,000 times. You should have an assistant. Don't play me. You don't just come in.
His assistant quit.
Yeah.
That's why he had to do it.
So you go on Craigslist. There's two ends of that spectrum. Keanu Reeves was like that, but when I met Melanie Griffith, I ended up taking selfies with her in her car for like an hour because she didn't want to drive in traffic, and she loved me.
Yeah.
So, but Keanu was the better one. I liked him better.
That's the
fucking Neo.
What's the biggest difference living in LA versus New York, and like the comedy scene and just the comedy culture out here versus over there?
Okay, so I'm just gonna say what I think as a perspective. I'm not crapping on anything. I feel like coming from the East Coast, the grind is a little different. Like, I feel like because in New York, theater is the thing, comedians out there do not care so much about being on TV or making movies. They just want to be the best comedian ever. And they and they don't, you know, it's like I'm the greatest on stage. Like fuck everybody else. Like that's it. That's all I do.
Right.
And out here, it's the vibe is laid back. The comedy's super funny. As you look at Friday, like those jokes are like, you know, so like it's a different type of comedy, but it's laid back because where New York's like grind it out until you die. Here's like that's just funny, man. Yeah, like everyone's like, yo, I told this funny joke, homie, and it's like it's just a different vibe. So the work ethic is still the same, but I feel like the swag is a lot different. You know, like there's a lot of like great comics from New York that have moved here and then moved back, and like they're still killing it on stage. And I love like Marie Faustin. She has a great show. Your boy Phil, he does her show on New York. Yeah. And she's fabulous. She didn't like being out here in LA because she's like, what the hell is all these mountains and nature and coyotes? We went for a hike. She was like, I don't know about this life. And me, I'm like, look at my tan, you know, like, and you know, it's just like, but she wanted to go back home so she could grind. Yeah. You know, and it's a different type of grind, but that's what I feel like it's not, no one's better than the other, but it's just the way you do it. It's the way they do it, the way we do it.
I see. Are there any jokes that are off limits for you?
Absolutely not.
No, so you will talk about everything.
Well, I don't know. As long as it's not about me.
That should be the basis of your comedy. Like,
no, man. You get in trouble with stuff like that. Like here's like I'm a one-liner guy, and if I had a really bad job, my thing was, you know, I always drop the, you know, like the 12 years, like and it's like I feel like that's how I'm treated, you know, like and to believe it or not, I've watched the entire movie with the end of 5 minutes, and I think the acting was great, like being able to be like to portray getting beat like that, like the guy should have won an Oscar. Like I wanted to be in Roots after I saw that.
Did you really?
Yeah, the new one.
Oh, I haven't
yet because I won't because they didn't pick me. And I wanted LeVar Burton to like make a cameo, like, you know, like come off a rainbow in a slave ship and just, you know,
it'll be okay, young contender.
It'll be okay. What happened to your foot? Butterflies.
Diabetes. See, then you just modernize it now. There's too much sugar. We're on the sugar plantation. There's no cotton over here. Licking the sugar cane. It's hot. You know.
Why does Kunta Kinte have a visor on his eyes? Like, what?
Too much.
So I don't know, but yeah. So yeah.
So nothing is off limits.
When I really am in a good place, nothing's off limits. I feel like if you can go there, and you know, either it's gonna bomb or it's not. Like you're either going to have. I feel like people, and this goes for myself as well, and with comics. People, and just in general, people are afraid to say what they feel. Right. And I'm learning how to do it in a way that doesn't get me in trouble. But as a comic, I feel like it's our duty to maybe go there. Like, you're risky.
You have to.
You're risky. You take chances where I've been laughing. I still talk about the tap tap joke. I love that joke. I
forgot all about that.
See, it resonates with me. I love that. It's Instagram. You're like, tap tap.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know Nick's tap tap joke, please look up some of his stuff.
I don't know if it's online.
I think I might have some footage from the Zen Lounge.
If you have it, if you have it and you put it up, then they can see it. But no, like it's essentially it's about people on Instagram. But if Instagram wasn't like, I don't do this joke anymore. So if you want to steal it, go ahead.
Yeah, it would be stolen.
It's if Instagram was in real life, and then so you like walk up to a woman. This is so sexual harassment. But if you walk up to a woman and you're like, wow, like your titties are fantastic, and you tap them. You know, like, I just like your titties. I'm sorry,
there's nothing wrong with liking titties.
I just enjoy. Like,
the joke is epic. I don't care. Like, I hope when you get your special, you do it because. People have to hear that one again. If not, I'll just play it over in my head every time I see an Instagram trick.
It's so because like different people like different jokes, and so anytime I have conversation with people who've like seen my comedy or watch stuff online, where they're like, yeah, I like this joke, and like it's just like my mom likes the weirdest joke that I've done, like literally probably the weirdest joke that I've done she loves that joke, and like I don't ever do that joke anymore. Cause like I've just retired a bunch of stuff.
Was it a funny joke or was it just strange? Like, why do you like this and no one else likes this?
It was essentially like the premise was it was me having sex with a nun. So like
You did not.
this girl was like super religious, and we were having like wild and crazy sex, but she was still clothed. And I was like, yo, you should take off these clothes. Like, no, it's okay. Like I'm used to it. It's just the habit. So that's the.
Fabulous.
Right?
Fabulous.
A lot of people didn't get it, but like shit, because it's such a clever joke. Like when I really do it, like it's such a clever joke, but she just loved it.
But your mom, she's not. It wasn't just like, oh, my kid's telling jokes. Like she gets it.
I mean,
if your mom can get it, dude.
But it was like all of the sex jokes that I have, my mom like enjoyed a lot of them. Like, and it's also weird just like talking about sex on stage in front of people, but in front of like your people, like in front of like your parents or your mom, like it's super weird.
My mom, I would never have, like, my mom still doesn't understand what the hell I do. Like, I don't think there's ever been a joke where I've been able to like make her laugh, and she's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, my son's out in LA. He's making hot dogs. And like she doesn't get the fact that like it's a commercial. Like I actually like tell jokes. Like I've invited her,
right.
And she's like, "Oh no, apple lump cake, sugar bear, and frosting cake. I don't want to go." Mama doesn't like the swearing, and I'm like, "Why the hell do you call me these names?" And then I go back to like, but it's I wish I'm jealous of you. Like when I told my mom I had sex for the first time, she prayed for like 4 hours, and then she came back the next day with a book from the library and 3 tapes on what to expect. Like
so she already knows.
She just didn't know how to talk to me about it. So like I would invite my friends over, we'd have popcorn and watch it in the VCR.
That's funny. That's funny. Would you ever apologize for anything that you have said or would say on either on stage or on now like on social media? Because people are getting backfire for like tweets and like Instagram posts now. Like
I'm not that famous. It doesn't matter what I say.
So you would just say like something super outlandish?
No. Here's the thing. I'm not apologetic because I feel like with as heavy as you can't say anything anymore without it being like, you got to be careful. Like this is your social media. You could lose your career before you even have one.
Right.
So I haven't said anything, and I pray that I don't say anything dumb ever like that. Just because it doesn't take much. You can be famous in a second from saying some dumb stuff, but like,
right.
It's. I think even though I'm a complicated person as a comedian, my duty is to make people have a better day.
Right.
And if I'm angry about something, like when Charlie Sheen was like, "Oh, I have HIV, but I had sex with all these women." Okay. And his doctor's like, "That's right, Charlie." And that's Good Day America. And I'm like, whoa! And I went on a rant. I was like, how's this fool not getting brought up on like sexual battery and blah blah blah. And like that, like, and some people are like, "Oh, Tai, you're just so angry." But I'm like, no. Because if I was doing that, I'd be in jail. I'm not, but I wasn't apologetic. Like I talk about things that mean stuff to me, and if I don't have anything really smart to say, or if I can't articulate it, I'm not going to say it. Or at least I'm not going to say it to you. The woman will hear about it.
Well, I mean, there's things that I feel that comics can say that other people can't say. Okay. And I mean, me personally, I would never apologize for anything. Mm. And even if that goes to like me losing something or me like, because like if it's funny and I stand behind it, and if you were just like too PC about it, I'm sorry. Like, but you laughed at this and this, but this thing is what's off to. Okay, all right.
You see, but that's the thing. Like, I feel it's the forum. Like, if I'm putting something on social media or if I'm talking about it on stage, I'm still working with. No matter how I am personally as a comic, I'm still working with like the freedom of like not giving a fuck and I'm not there yet.
Right.
It's life's work, but I'm like, I know I want to say this because I say this in my home.
Right.
But what will happen? Like, is somebody going to come on stage and punch me in the face? It's happened. Like, I could turn into Cat Williams and hit someone in the head with the mic. But I'm not like. It's like I'm trying to figure out like, when is it too much, or am I gonna hurt myself or my career before I even have it? I don't know. It's just complicated. I think too much about these things.
I mean, the way I look at it, I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, if like all this just crashes and burns, I can go work at Ralph's. You know what I'm saying? Like I can just go work.
You could work at Ralph's. I will not. Listen, for all you people out there at Ralph's, because I have some homies out there. I love Ralph's. Your salmon is on point always. Yo, on Wednesdays it's $5.99. Anyway, I don't want to. I've worked so hard to get where I'm at, and I know what I'm worth, that I can't go backwards now.
Right.
Like, it's just like, and it's not like if I was in the same, like, I've been in this mind state probably a good 20 years, but if I was in this mind state and I wasn't producing work, I would get back on that grind. I'd do the 9 to 5. You know, hell, man, before all this media pop that I was doing, I was working at Verizon in Santa Monica, because I felt like I had to do that.
Right.
You know? Miserable.
Yeah.
Chanting boom, boom, boom. Like, who the hell wants to be that excited about a damn cell phone? Are you serious right now? Are you serious? You know? I get depressed. I get very depressed, and I start looking at my dog crazy, and he's like, "Do not put me in that car with you." You know, and it's just it's a thing for me. So I'll play nice until I'm rich enough to just pay away my faults.
Hilarious. But now, yeah, because you're working with BuzzFeed. How did that come about? BuzzFeed was funny. I self-submitted for my first BuzzFeed video, which never came out, and it was I was supposed to be a movie buff, and the audition was rad, and you know that never came to. And then the producers hit me up again, and they were like, "Hey, you know, like, you want to do another thing?" And I was like, "Okay." And then I did some extra work for them, but then I had like a solid video with them, and they just kept calling me back. And then after a while, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, I feel like BuzzFeed is cool, but I'm growing right now, and that is very, very high profile. But you know, I care about the content that I do. But BuzzFeed was rad, man, and I still you know, deal with the producers here and there when they want to do something, and I like them. Yeah, like they make great content.
Great content.
You know, I mean, and it gets lots of hits, lots of views, and so, you know, it's
I just want to be on the content that gets a lot of. I like, the last thing I did for them, and I love BuzzFeed. The last thing I did for them was like a Clorox spot, and we were talking about like bathroom humor. That's what it was, you know. And I guess the client and BuzzFeed weren't clear on what we could and couldn't say. So every time I opened my mouth, like, my scene was cut. Oh, so I was like, gee. I was like, I can't edit out 4 seconds of a 3-minute clip. Right. so you know, I mean, it comes with its good and bads. BuzzFeed was rad. I still love BuzzFeed, but I'm super lucky and I'm happy that I did all the work that I did with them so far. So yeah, it was really cool. And then Wienerchitzel, man. Right. That's my claim to fame right now. That's like I'm the dick boy.
It's. If you haven't seen the commercial, it's essentially just Ty's face, right? So it's like this, all like it's this, and it's Ty, and he's smiling,
taters,
and he's right, and he's just excited about this new. I don't even know what the product is. All I know, I'm like, this is Ty on my TV for 30 seconds.
And I hated the damn spot more than it. I worked so hard. I was sweating. I was like, why'd you put me in this red sweater, and why are you slicking my hair back? My hair is beautiful. And they're like, I did all this work. I did 4 hours of voiceover. Like, this wasn't just a one day of like, it was the Tots. I don't know. I thought it was the Tot commercial. Like, I was in it. I was cool. I was the only person in it. But I was very unhappy with that work. But the Oktoberfest with the you know, when I was wearing the lederhosen, that was fantastic. Yeah, I like that one. I got to be kind of German. I got, you know, for all you people out there, it was last year September. I wore the thing. I was dancing. Had a plate of brats in my hands. Look for it.
So how does one book a commercial? Like, I mean, like, did you just submit an audition, or like did Wienerchitzel call you because of what they saw on BuzzFeed, or what happened? Take us through the process.
It's hard work. I was signed to a commercial agent, and she was not working for me.
Oh wow!
And I was like, okay, well, we're going on 2nd year of being together, and I'm still.
And you haven't booked anything at this point.
And she sent me like 5 auditions, and like I didn't book any of them, and I was like, okay, well, maybe you're mad at me. Like, I didn't know. Like, I'm so naive. Like, I'm still learning. Like, I know the business well now, but I didn't know. Like,
right.
Like, and then And I was like, I'm not going to wait for you to book. So I would start self-submitting. If you're a comic or you're self-submitting, you don't have an agent, self-submit. And I did it. And I auditioned. And Wienerchitzel, like, they said, oh, we were looking for a knee slapper. I didn't know what the hell that is. And the producer got in, they liked me. And I booked not one but 2 spots with them, which was rad. And then,
that's good.
You know, I have then I did like a national beer commercial, which it's supposed to come out soon. I can't talk about it; it's still confidential. And I feel like it's like a momentum game. Just like if you're doing a lot of stand up, like, you know, more people are getting to know who you are. They're seeing your face more. They're seeing you in the audition rooms, and you know, I feel like the smart people are the ones that book me because they're the ones who let me be me. Because you know. And if you have a commercial and I don't care how much money you spend on it, if I'm not portraying who I am, I'm selling it for you. But if you don't want me to be me, then it's not going to be a good commercial, whether it's just for an app or it's for, you know, hot dogs.
Yeah. See?
Super lucky.
You're already there. Like you're where you're at mentally, I think is where a lot of people need to kind of get, and especially people who move to LA, because I know like a lot of people, you know, come to LA with this notion like I'm just gonna get discovered and someone's just gonna, you know, find me, and then all of a sudden I'm moving with Angelina Jolie. Like,
it's not that way.
It doesn't work, right? Like it doesn't work out that way. I mean, there are those rare instances to where some of these people get booked that way, but do they keep a career going? Because there haven't been a lot of people that were just like, oh my god, I need your face, and then they're in a movie or something, you know what I mean? They're like, after that movie's done, like, that's it, right? That's it. Like, that's cool and all, but you gotta, if you really want to do this thing, you got, like, it takes work.
I don't want cool. I want, like, so I was sitting with my mentor, and he goes, I was like, listen, I've known you for like 2 years. Where is my CAA referral? Straight up, no lie. This was like last month, and he's like, well, what would you say to the agent if you when he asks you why do I want to sign you? Right. And I was like, so I could be rich as fuck.
So get out of my office.
And he's like, he would tell you to get out of his office. And it's not that, like, listen, I want money. Of course you love money. That's why, like, it's a perk of being in this business. Money is good. I love it. I am not at the point where I can be like, let me just walk away, you know, like, but a part of me, I felt like it was the first thing I said because it was always an important thing for me because I always thought about it as like, if I do this, then I'm going to generate more money, then I'll be able to do more. But when he was like, he wouldn't even sign you if he said that, it kind of made it real to me, where I was like, he's like, what do you do? Right. You know, and I was like, damn. And I had to take that home. And ever since I had that conversation, the way I see this business, I've always kind of taken it seriously, but the way I see it now, it's more like, this is, I'm completely in this. There's no room for if, ands, or buts. There's no room for silly, like, little choices. Like, I got to do it right. So, you know, it's you have to work hard. You have to believe. And if you think you're gonna come here and you're gonna start booking commercials in the first year, you're silly. Right. You know, some people are that lucky. Like, I used to audition next to a guy named Quincy who's on everything. He's talented. He has beard, glasses, and he's killing it. And I wasn't booking anything, and I was like, well, what am I doing? If I had just given up, who would have thought? I would have still been working, selling phones, not making commercials, you know? Right.
So, and, you know, for people who haven't seen your stand-up, because, like, you're at least what I've seen, like, it's very theatrical. Like, you're a very theatrical
person. A whole new world.
And but I guess because, you know, like, everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own, you know, kind of like genre of comedy. But you're such a entertaining personality that, like, you know, your style of comedy, like, it's very theatrical.
It's very big.
And you can also tell that, you know, like this guy, like, he also acts like it's not, you know, like it's not just standing up there smoking a cigarette, talking into a microphone, talking about, like, my crazy ex-wife. Like, you're like, there's theatrics to it.
The secret is, no, I'm just kidding.
What do you prefer, the acting or the stand-up?
I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna play the Eddie Murphy card and say the acting. And the only reason I'm gonna say that is because, you know that saying where a picture lasts forever. You know, like it's kind of like, I don't have to, when I film something, I don't have to think about it afterwards. Like, if I see the content, I don't like it, I think about it, and then it plays over and over again, and I have to see it. But, like, you're paying me a good amount of money to not think about it that much. Whereas right now, with how I feel about how comedians are being treated with clubs, it's not worth it to me right now. And it may sound bad, and people can be like, "Oh, you're not a real comic." I don't care. I don't care what you think. Like, the fact of the matter is that for me, and this isn't for everyone, for me,
Right.
I wanted to be an entertainer before I knew I was a comic. And knowing that I'm a comic just gives me just reassures the fact that I'm a good entertainer along with being a good comic. So right now I want to focus on that because I never thought I could do it. And the fact that I've been doing it as much as I have, it's amazing, and it makes me feel good. And I can help my friends who are comics that are coming up and be like, hey, well, listen, if I do enough of this, then I can get an opportunity, and then I can help you.
Right.
Because that's what this business is about. It's not just like, let me hit it. Like, there are people that are killing it right now, and they didn't have to do anything. They just knew the right person. And yes, it's about who you know, but like, I want to be the person you know. I want to be the person you know. There are comics that I'm like, damn, they're going to be on TV in 5 years. When we had a talk a couple of months ago, and I was like, I can see you with your own late night show in the next 5 years. And I believe in that because, I saw your come up, and it's never changed. Like, some people are like, well, if I can't do this, I'm going to do this. If I can't, it's always been the same thing with you. That's why, like, I know you have a future, and we'll be here 5 years from now in a bigger studio. You'll be wearing a $5,000 suit, and I'll be talking about the TMZ thing they said about me. Thank you.
What would probably be the biggest thing that you've learned in this journey?
To trust myself and trust the people that love you, and stay away from the bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not an easy person to live with, and I'm not an easy person to date, and I'm not an easy person to be engaged to, and my girl's, she puts up with a lot, but she understands that, like, I'm learning, like, and this is a crazy business, man. Like, like, this is it's real for me. It's real. Like, every day it's real. Like, I wake up 5 auditions, blah, 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 or I get no auditions, and at the end of the day, it's like, if I don't, like, she's the only person that I trust. Like, I have close friends that I trust too, but, like, as far as someone that I can, like I'm not afraid to cry or be like, this is frustrating, or like say those things that I don't want to apologize about. Like, I have to have that, and I think that's what it is, because friends come and go and acquaintances come and go, but you need to, like, have a super good support system. I fired 3 people that tried to manage me. Let's not get it twisted. Yeah. Like, that's how you do it, because you can think you can do it by yourself, but you can't.
Right.
You need to have good people that you trust, and you have to have a good eye for talent, because you don't want to work. If you're more talented than the person who has no talent, and they're trying to make videos with you, why am I going to do that?
Well, I mean, but if they have good ideas and good content.
No, not even good ideas. Just making, how many videos I see with good comics with noise in the background? I'm like, do you don't have a mic or a sound guy for this? What's wrong with you? You hear the guy taking a shit across the street. Like, oh, I see you. Like, it's not. and
it just adds to the relatability of the video.
You want to make something with me? I don't know. I couldn't hear what you said on the first video you did, or the second or third, and it's not like, I don't feel like I'm better than anyone, but, like, on a real scale, like, I'm looking to be in film in the next couple of years, like, heavy. Like, I'm trying to, like, I don't want to have to tell you what I do.
Right. Right.
Like, you don't come here so you can be like, oh, what do you do? I'm a comedian. My cousin is a comedian too. Have you ever heard of him? His name's Bernstein. He's a great guy. Like, I don't want to do that. And it's because I've been super lucky to be in the right place at the right time, and also smart enough to say, this is where I am and this is what I need to do to be where I need to get. And if I'm not there yet, I need to keep on working harder to get there. Yeah. And that means getting smarter and working smarter, not harder.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just work until, you don't have to introduce yourself anymore.
Well, someday I'm going to have someone who shakes hands for me.
That's That's too much. That's the,
I don't know
getting
about
shake-
that.
shake his
Hands, use the Purell too. I don't know where your hand's been after you touched that person. I'm just kidding.
So there are a lot of folks who watch this who either want to get into comedy or get into the business. So like, what is your best piece of advice for someone who's like thinking about wanting to get in or maybe trying to dabble, or like, what is your biggest piece of advice for these people?
Biggest piece of advice is understand the reality of this business. For new people that are trying to get into comedy or think that show business is for them, you have to realize there's some not glamorous things about this business. Like, you're not going to have a lot of money anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You'll be broke before you're not.
You'll be broke.
Right.
You'll be broke for a long. I'm like, I have a $600 wallet with $15 in it. I'm like, how does this happen?
That's LA.
That's LA.
That's LA.
And you gotta fake it till you. And like, you have to really like come to terms with. I'm sorry, I may not be able to have this full-time job if it's not in the industry.
Yeah.
I may not be able to do that. Like, I may have to like find other ways to make money. I'm not saying pull
Legally.
Jay-Z. Legally.
Legally.
I'm not saying pull a Jay-Z.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, you have, like, I DJ. Like, I do other things. Like, I work production. I'm not too good. Like, I love the business. So you have to remember that you have to sacrifice more. You have to, if you have a girlfriend that's holding you down, is not supporting you, you have to say goodbye. You have to leave.
go.
Like, it's not worth it. Like,
Yeah.
so you have to be real with yourself. And a lot of people hit me up on Facebook and they're like, oh, like, Ty, I want to get in the business. There's only 3 people from back home, 2 people from back home that I say are worth coming out here, and I will do my best to help them. But like everyone else, like are you planning on moving your whole family to Los Angeles? Oh, not real. Okay, I gotta go. Seriously, like you don't want it. You can't be comfortable in being in this business. There's no comfortable in this business. You're comfortable when you know that you don't gotta think about nothing because it comes to you.
Right.
So unless you're willing to have that reality, which means that you have a $600 wallet with $15 in it.
You ain't ready for this life.
You ain't ready for this life.
You ain't about it.
What?
That's so funny. Well, there you go.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is.
So what can we expect next from you, Ty?
I've been I'm heavy on the original content, as you know. You and I have been talking. I'm not going to disclose the project just because we're out here. I want to make original content because I also am not a very nice person in the sense of waiting for someone to give me an opportunity. I'll make my own. A lot of interesting media, maybe some personal art coming from me. I'm kind of just really kind of finding who I am as an entertainer, and I'm experimenting and just like me being more of a refined comic in the next year to come. So, and hopefully some good TV, man.
Yeah.
Looking for it,
Yeah.
and hopefully some good TV.
Where can people find you online?
On my Instagram, which is what I use mostly right now, it is Tai Kallon, TAIKILLEM, and however you get to Instagram at that, hashtag me, at whatever. My Twitter, which I don't really use that much, but go, it's Kallon Ty, reverse it. It's don't add me on Facebook. I have enough people that that's for family. But
add them on Facebook.
If you're gonna see my new spot come out in a couple of weeks, and it's for a national beer brand, and it's going to be in Venice, and that's all I can say about it. So look forward to that, because I twerk in that commercial if they haven't cut it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I like that.
All over national TV.
Oh, yeah.
Mama's going to be proud.
Man, it's better than that Tattoo Nightmares episode. that girl called me crazy. After you tell you 15 minutes of fame, I'm like, but you cut me in the streets of New York. Are you crazy? I have to tell people about this. They changed your name.
That's so fun. Thank you, man.
Nick, it's a pleasure.
Thank you for
Love
coming
your
in.
face.
It's been fun. It's been
been
real.
real.
I totally messed up that handshake, and it's all on camera.
We're black. We're allowed to do it wherever we want to. I don't apologize for saying that. We're black.
We're brothers.
We're brothers.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, you can find me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue. And until next time, we'll see you soon.
Peace.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.